Well, boys, it finally happened. 1985 called and demanded their turn signals back after 4 whole years of rolling around with these bad boys. Anyway, in today's video, we're going to show you how to take care of that, swap those out for something a little bit nicer, and of course, there will be links provided in the description of the video for all of the parts and products that are utilized. Let's get into it. So the first thing you have to do is remove the front cowling, and it's only held on by 3 fasteners. There's one on each side, and then one down here on the bottom. So grab your favorite JIS driver and go to town. Once you have those screws removed, this just slides right off, which exposes all of your wiring and everything for your signals, headlights, all that stuff. We just have to figure out which wires are going where. No big deal. Yeah, there's one. Ah, here it is. All right, there we go. So here are the 2 connectors for those turn signals. So here we've exposed the connectors for each turn signal. The gray connector here corresponds with the left side turn signal, and the black connector goes to the right turn signal. But there's a little tab on the connector here. You might need the help of a flathead screwdriver. You just gotta lift up on that tab, gentle wiggle. Should get them loose quite easily. There we go. Nothing to it. So at this point, we can remove the turn signals pretty easily. There is just one 8mm nut that holds these on to the mounts here. And so it's kind of tight in there, so I'm just going to use a basic 8mm wrench and just crank these off. You can see there's this little plastic piece here. So just slide this through. Oh, all right, never mind. I thought we were gonna have to send that through the mount, but this connector actually goes through here. I thought the connector was gonna be too large to fit through that hole, but it just does. All right, never mind. Cool, let's get this side. So this is where things get a little bit interesting. This is where we have a couple of options on how we can go about this. So whenever you have your old turn signals off, in order to install new ones, you can do one of 2 things. You can, the first method would be just to cut this connector off and splice on your new turn signal. And so in order to do that, we would want to figure out which wire is positive and which wire is negative. So we can get in here with a multimeter. It's definitely preferable if you do not short these out, because you will be replacing a fuse. But here you can see I'm reading negative. So there's a solid black wire and a black wire with a white stripe. That white stripe wire is your negative side. And we'll go ahead and confirm that here with this left turn signal. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and place the lead, the negative lead, on that striped wire there. All right, you can see that's a positive reading there. So that means we have confirmed the green wire for your right signal is going to be your positive. But I am going to opt out of splicing my turn signals because it's honestly too cheap not to just buy a wiring kit from companies like TST. You can get these from multiple places, but TST, they provided this adapter kit, which just has, you know, the OEM connectors with some barrel plugs on the end, which is what your generic turn signals are going to have on them. And these are plug and play. We will literally just plug these into the stock harness. And these were $12. I mean, I just can't imagine cutting up my stock wiring harness and doing that work. 12 bucks, are you kidding? Let's just do this, get this over with, and leave the stock wiring harness in its OEM condition. So the adapters just plug in to the original wiring harness, just like you'd expect. Now, it is a little bit weird because the color scheme of the wires coming out of this adapter are just, I don't know, they're a little bit weird to me, but it does appear that the negative side of the circuit is going to be this red wire, and the positive side of the circuit is going to be brown, and that's for the left signal on the right side, it looks like, hopefully it's the same. Yeah, red is the negative side of the circuit and brown is the positive side of the circuit. So that's a little bit weird, but you know, no, who cares, right? So at this point we can start routing the wiring, and actually this gets us to the point where we can start seeing some of the issues that we're going to encounter when doing this LED signal conversion. So you can see that where we removed the old turn signal, there's this rather large opening. The wiring is going to go through there, and I'm planning on using a signal like this, just a regular stock style signal. As you can see, there's nothing for it to mount to. In this situation, there are a couple of solutions. One, you can go on the TST website. There will be links in the description for these parts. They offer adapter plates for the OEM signal mount to utilize a stock style signal like this, and you can find those pretty easily. They're very cheap. I am going to go ahead and 3D print some parts for this, since I can do that same day and get these in my hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. There will be links to Thingiverse in the description of this video. If you do have a 3D printer and wish to print these yourself, those will be there for you. My turn signal has an 8mm stock on it, and the rubber piece is 14mm in diameter. So I created these mounts for that size or that geometry of turn signal. So those will be available should you want them, and yeah, links in the description, as I said. So that's going to be first issue, and those are printing right now. I went ahead and designed up those files and threw them on the printer. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate the second issue that we're going to encounter in this LED turn signal conversion, and that is we're going to run into this situation where we get signals that don't work properly, or hyper flash scenario. These signals should sequence. Of course, links to the signal will be in the description as well. The problem with this is the circuit has to have a certain amount of power dissipation to work correctly. And whenever we switch to these LED signals, the power requirement for these are much lower, so the current in that circuit is much lower, and then the OEM equipment doesn't work properly. So we have to switch to an LED flasher relay. So the flasher relay is located right here, which is pretty convenient. And here's my LED flasher relay. Luckily they make these just, you know, to where they go right into the OEM connector. So you can see there's some tabs here at the bottom. And so it looks like we're just gonna have a plastic tab on each side here. All right, so there's the OEM flasher. Okay, apparently mine's a little bit broken. I wonder if I can just wiggle that off there. Okay, so mileage may vary on these. Seems mine came a little bit damaged. I don't think that's a big deal at all. So here we can get a little bit closer look at what we got going on in there. So we should be able to take our new relay and just pop it right in. Okay, so this is proving to be a little bit of a pain. I'm not sure why. I think I got it in. There was basically zero positive affirmation that that thing is heated, but my turn signal is working now. So after a little bit of messing around, I was able to get that to click in to the socket with a nice positive affirmation. So I'm happy with how that went. And my 3D prints are complete. So we can actually install these now. Check those out. See if it actually works. So it's gonna be the moment of truth here. All right, man, let's get the other one going. I think that's looking good. I even kind of like the blue. I don't know, we'll see. It gives a little bit of a, you know, a little touch of color. But I don't know, black would look really good too. All right, so that's on there. We can go ahead and make our electrical connections here. So like I said earlier, our red, ironically, is going to be our negative side of the circuit here. So we'll go ahead and fully connect that. Slide the little chintzy boot over the connector there. Pro tip, you should probably use some dielectric grease in these if you ever want to get them apart again. All right, those are connected. Go ahead and connect the left side, kind of route the wiring where the old went, just like we did on the other side here. Once again, red is going to be the negative side. The turn signal that I purchased has yellow and black leads, and the yellow is the positive side. There we go. Okay, so let's just go ahead and make sure both of those work. Get the left side. Nice. Those are gonna look sweet. So I went ahead and pulled all the wiring tight and got it, you know, kind of situated in this little rubber guy, just kind of like it used to be from the OEM. And so yeah, we're kind of done with this, man. We're ready to button this up. So this goes right back on, just like you got it, just like you took it off. Might have to shuffle some things around to get it to kind of slide back on the way it was, but oh, my hand popped. It looks like this project is complete and we are ready for a test ride. I think we have improved the look of this motorcycle. So that's going to conclude this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you stay safe on your motorcycle out there, and see you next time.